Figures released by the Treasury show that since the pandemic began in early 2020, the UK government has provided over £28 billion in additional funding to the devolved administrations. Most strikingly, Scotland received £14.5 billion, more than half of the overall fund. The annual publication of the block grant Transparency also reveals Wales received an extra £8.6 billion, while the Northern Ireland executive benefited from an additional £5 billion in funding. Releasing the news on its website, the Treasury said, "This funding has enabled the devolved administrations to provide support to individuals, businesses and public services across Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland through the Barnett Formula in response to COVID-19 and will continue to support the recovery through 2021-22. This comes as part of the unprecedented package of support for the whole of the UK throughout the pandemic, with £352 billion spent right across the UK on COVID-19 measures such as the furlough scheme, self-employment support, help for businesses and the procurement of vaccines." Mr. Sunak also posted about the release of the new figures on Twitter, which read, "During the pandemic, we've provided over £28 billion in additional funding to the devolved administrations. An extra £14.5 billion of this went to Scotland. In Wales, an extra £8.6 billion. The Northern Ireland executive received an extra £5 billion. However, the Chancellor also accompanied this with a graphic produced by the Treasury which showed a map of Scotland along with the text, £14.5 billion increase to the Scotland block grant since the start of the pandemic. Several people reacted to this by mocking Miss Sturgeon and the SNP, with one person tweeting, "And what did the Scots spend it all on? Did you get a receipt?" A second Twitter user wrote, "Have you asked for details of how this has been spent? Sturgeon cannot be relied on." Another person added, "I wonder if Nicola Sturgeon will say thank you before she tries to split #Scotland from #UK? If not, we should invoice her and request all the money we've ever given them back." Commenting on the new funding, Chief Secretary to the Treasury Steve Barclay said, "The UK government is fully committed to supporting the entirety of the UK throughout the pandemic, with an additional £28 billion for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland since the start of the pandemic. Over the past year we've protected jobs and businesses across the UK with furlough and other support schemes. Our vaccine rollout is now helping us unlock the economy, and our plan for jobs is levelling up opportunity and helping people back into work." Nicola Sturgeon has continued to campaign for a second referendum on Scottish independence, claiming Brexit, which the country voted against, has gone ahead the will of the Scottish people. Earlier this year, the SNP demanded the UK government pay Scotland billions of pounds in compensation for the economic impact on the country from Brexit. The Scottish government had warned new changes to customs and exports following Brexit could cost the UK up to £7 billion each year, while Constitution Secretary Mike Russell has also warned Scotland's GDP could plummet by as much as 6% over the next 10 years. The SNP's Westminster leader Ian Blackford said, "It is completely unforgivable that Scotland is being forced to pay such a devastatingly high price for Boris Johnson's extreme Tory Brexit deal, with mounting costs, red tape and disruption. The Tories must apologise to Scottish businesses and pay compensation to Scotland for the long-term damage they are doing to our economy, costing us billions in lost trade and growth. This disastrous Tory Brexit was a completely unnecessary act of economic vandalism, which has been inflicted against Scotland's will. It is now beyond doubt that the only way to protect Scotland's interests and our place in Europe is to become an independent country." With businesses, industries and communities across Scotland warning of rising costs, bureaucracy and delays, it is clear Boris Johnson's Brexit deal has already left the UK poorer and worse off, with absolutely no benefit to Scotland at all. Every promise has been broken. Mr. Blackford added, "The UK government must now provide an urgent multi-billion-pound package of compensation to Scotland to mitigate the lasting Brexit harm done to Scottish businesses, industries and communities," he said. Scotland has been completely ignored by Westminster throughout the Brexit process. People in Scotland have the right to determine our own future, protect our interests, and regain the full benefits of EU membership as an independent country.